Hey everybody, it's Stuart with Wine on the Dime, and today I'm shooting this at my desk that I can only do streaming from because, I'll be honest, I am in the middle of assembling some big furniture to go into the set back there, and I couldn't be bothered to clean up. Here's a sneak peek. Anyway, with that being said, I do have a bottle that sounds pretty promising. 93 points, Wine Spectator. We'll see if it's actually worth it. Stay tuned. Hey everybody, so if you end up liking today's video, go ahead and subscribe to the channel, click that notifications bell, and do other things that people do when they like the content. Alright, so today I'm going to be reviewing the Goru Gold Red Blend. It is a blend of 80% Monastrell, 15% Syrah, 5% Cabernet Sauvignon. It's 2017, it's 14.5% alcohol by volume, and it's from Jumilla, Spain. I already took the caps off. That's right. Let's get to pouring it and see how it looks. Okay, first of all, the cork. Look at that color. Look at that color. All right, so I'm expecting this to be a dark wine, especially with that Syrah and the Monastrell. Like if it's not purple, I'd be surprised. Just let you right there, Goru. Just you be you. All right, so from a color standpoint, oh man, so okay, so you're pretty close. You're on the edge there, so you're kind of going from purple to ruby. I'm going to say medium. Ruby, no artifacts, no cloudiness. All right, so on the nose, woo, man, you get some, okay, so there's some like black cherry, there's a little bit of blackberry, but then there's this like red plum note that's coming through. There's a little bit of, just a touch of black pepper. There's this nice sort of black tea note that's pretty strong in there. And then there's this little pinch of like a white chocolate. It's, like, I was kind of expecting more of like a dark chocolate, maybe a milk chocolate. This is like, this smells definitively cocoa butter-esque. Reminds me of the Bahamas. I mean, I'm getting a tiny bit of secondary, but a lot of it is kind of mixed in with that sort of, those chocolatey elements. There's like a touch of, maybe like a touch of clove. But I mean, there's just not a lot of strong secondary on this wine. But how does it taste? Ooh, lots of tannin. Oh, like so much tannin, I'm just like literally spitting on myself. Bet that looked great on camera. Oh man, that is a high acid, just high tannin, kick you in the mouth wine. I feel like I need to scrape my teeth already. So the fruit is there, but you kind of have to work through that acid shock. The alcohol is high on the palate. You really have to kind of get adapted to this wine. You can't just assume that you're going to be able to have a sip of this wine and just enjoy it. Unless you're someone who really likes to just drink robust wine on their own. And I mean like really robust wines. This wine is going to be hard for you to do on your own. It has so much intensity. Like the nose is a medium plus. The palate is a pronounced intensity. You just get really strong hits of everything on the palate. And it does a really good job of just kind of blending all together. The alcohol is a little abrasive at first. Once you get past it, it's not as bad. That nice high acid, really, for 2017, has still really, really, really high acid. The tannins are really high. This is one of those wines where you could easily age this wine for 10 to 15 years. And it would still have a good amount of primary characteristics to it. It would still have a lot of acid. And that alcohol, it may mellow, it may not. But ultimately, you're just still going to get a little bit of development in this. I wouldn't be surprised if you got some like leather type notes, maybe a little bit of gaminess that entered the wine. There's just so much powerful flavor in this wine. Everything is there. I mean, it's like full-bodied wine, has a medium plus to almost long finish. Let me time this again. All right, so yeah, it's a medium plus finish, but if you let it age, then it's going to have more complexity on the palate. It's going to even have more things to kind of drive it through as this thing gets older. So how does this wine rate? Let's get to the Blake. From a balance standpoint, yeah, I think you're in balance. I mean, you have lots of tannins, you have lots of acid, you have lots of everything. So full point. In terms of length, medium plus finish, half a point. Intensity, full point. Medium plus on the nose, pronounced as hell on the palate, full point. And in terms of complexity, I'm getting primary. I am getting more so that secondary on the palate than I was on the nose, so that's nice. So I'm gonna go ahead and give you half a point on this, just because I can't give you any tertiary. You're just really not there yet, because a wine that's this powerful is gonna take some time to chill out. So you just kind of need to let it develop on its own. Now, keep in mind, whenever I am reviewing wines, oh, by the way, yeah, this is very good. Also, keep in mind, when I'm reviewing wines, I typically follow the same type of protocol that most people do, which is you get a wine, it doesn't have extensive aging, if any aging. Within 48 minutes of buying it, you have it open and you're serving it. Most people don't decant either. So I'm following what people typically do when they buy a bottle of wine at the grocery store. Now, other people who have a little bit more wine knowledge or a little bit snootier, you might decant, you might age it for a few years or longer in the case of this wine. Or you might buy one that's already aged if you can find it. So that's something there. With that being said, would decanting and aerating help this wine? Yeah, probably so. Not necessarily the decanting as much as the aeration. The aeration will soften the tannins a little bit as it gets a little bit more exposure to oxygen, so that's nice. Will that intensity still be on the acid? Yes. Will it be there on the fruit? Yes. It might actually make it a little bit stronger once you add a little bit more air to it. So ultimately, this is a very good wine. If you can find a bottle of this, then buy a case, because this thing is going to just age for a long time, and this will be really, really good. Like this is a wine that I would pair with like a blackened barbecued chicken. It would go with brisket. There's so many, like anything that's fatty, that needs some intense flavor to it, that the tannins can soften up to because of the salt inside of the food. All of that's going to work out. And yes, I did say chicken, because a blackened chicken, the pepper is going to pair perfectly well with this. And if it's kind of a smoked blackened chicken, then that smokiness will interact with it. Everything's just going to play really well, and those kind of bitter smoke elements will be basically erased by the amount of primary fruit in this wine. Man, this is a hell of a wine. Anyway, this has been Stuart with Wine on the Dime. If you liked today's video, please like, subscribe, and comment. Have you tried the Goru Gold Red Blend? Very deserving of those 93 points. I'd be interested to know if you have. Leave a comment below, and I'll see you all again soon with another episode from Wine on the Dime. In the meantime, I'm going to go watch the finale of one of the MasterChef seasons, and I'm going to think about what I would pair with this wine the entire time. And then starve to death, because that show makes me so hungry. I'll see you later. This smells definitively cocoa butter-esque. Reminds me of the Bahamas. So, 3, 2, 1.